I'm just sitting here listening to Zach rant about cutting down a fucking pear tree.
A Bradford pear tree. They suck.
Apparently, it's giving him the coronavirus.
Yeah. Bradford pear trees is what caused the coronavirus. It wasn't bats. It wasn't eating
I don't
bats.
know what the hell a Bradford pear tree is, but I'm
It's
just going to
like
assume...
it's this tree that blooms. Like, I don't fucking beyond that. I know it blooms and I know it does like pollen shit.
I have no idea.
They smell
anyway,
like death. They smell fucking awful. I don't know why anyone would ever actually plant one.
Yeah, you should totally cut them down. Much like I'm going to cut the intro down to episode 17
because you
of
actually
the
checked this time.
podcast. I did. I said I was going to do it last time and like 8 other times before that. But this is episode 17.
This is fun fact, the only podcast that has not been canceled due to coronavirus.
That's true.
Don't look up that fact.
Yeah. I mean, look, anybody that listens to this is a fact. Don't fact check our facts because it's real news, not fake news. We only deal in the truth, the truthiest of truth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And even though I said it's episode 17, technically it's 18 because remember I the first episode is like episode 0 for some reason. I don't know why I did that at the time. So
I don't know either. It was like a test
technically
run.
this is 18, but numerically it's 17 on the list. So whatever. Anyway, how you been, Zach? How you handling Corona?
Fine. We here in the South don't believe in coronavirus.
Apparently that's true in West Virginia. Did you hear that like their governor went on TV and told people to keep going to Bob Evans?
It's kind of funny because before old Trump was like, coronavirus, that ain't real, fake news, and then like a couple days ago he's like, actually it's kind of bad, and then all the fucking boomers in town are suddenly like, oh, we believe it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is dumb enough to think this is a Democratic hoax? It's a Democratic hoax that somehow started in Wuhan, China, and then is decimating Italy, and is working its way through Europe, but it's a Democratic hoax.
Well, Josh, that sounds like a false flag fake news to me.
That's true, and we only deal in facts here.
Yeah.
In the Retrotainment podcast. Yeah, it's crazy. So in Maryland, they yesterday just shut down like bars and restaurants. You can still do takeout, but pretty much everything is closing down. The library, I had to go into work yesterday, and there were like 4 people there, including my manager, and most of the day was spent with her saying, look, I've pretty much committed myself to getting you guys to stay home, so I'm going to figure out how to do this. And by the end of the day, the library was like, yeah, this is the dumbest thing we ever agreed to do. We're just going to send everyone home. So
Well,
I did my first ever telework session today, which I hope nobody who I ever work with listens to this, because honestly, I didn't know what to do half the day because I didn't have access to my desktop. So my manager was like, just go do training online. So I did like 3 online training tests. It was like, I'm going to go play Modern Warfare for a little bit. Like, it's not really enforceable. It's kind of weird.
Maybe that's why we don't work from home, because nothing would get done.
Yeah, so like they had a teleconference today I had to call into, and they were like, yeah, so we're just going to tell you guys to like stay home. Don't worry about work. And they're basically making it so that the city of Baltimore hasn't shut everything down yet. But Pratt is going to dip into its own money and like pay. First they were saying they only had enough to pay the full-timers for what we call permission leave, which means that we're off. We don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. But I got an email like 2 hours ago saying that they found money in the budget to pay the part-timers also, which is awesome.
Well, I would hope so. God, that would suck.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, without the city reimbursing them, that's a huge chunk of the money gone. So Baltimore better fucking float that money back, because we do more for the homeless population in that city than fucking Baltimore does.
Well, here in bumfuck Alabama, I'm still going to work and will likely continue to go to work because people need their rugs real bad.
It's a hot topic in this
Fucking
virus-driven recession. Is rugs?
Is rugs. Gotta make more rugs.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing and will continue to do.
Dude, at some point everything is gonna shut down. I hate to say give it time, but it's gonna happen.
Not if they refuse, and they likely will.
There were some businesses in Maryland that did that, and the cops showed up and arrested the owners. Like, they straight up took them out. They were like, "No, we're just gonna lock you up for the night and charge you $5,000." So yeah, business is shut down real fucking quick.
Well, only time will tell, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Did you hear about like San Francisco? I don't want this to be like a corona
the Corona cast,
but it's clearly the hot topic, and we only deal in facts on this podcast.
Facts.
I don't know if I've mentioned that before.
FAXX.
FAXXXCKS exclamation point. Did you hear about like the Bay Area, San Francisco?
Mm-mm.
Like they put what I think it's like an in shelter order where you cannot go out of the house unless it's for the grocery store or the pharmacy, and it's only certain hours.
I mean, like, some places in the U.S. are taking it seriously.
Yeah. Not West Virginia.
Not Alabama.
Did you see the...
Not Disneyland. Dude, not Disneyland. Do you see that shit?
Disney shut down.
There was a picture, it was either Disneyland, there was a picture yesterday where they were, or it was yesterday or the day before, there was just fucking thousands of people.
Oh yeah, that was the day of the park. I watched the video because, you know, I've enjoyed Disney stuff, but that was the last day they were open. People fucking still went to the fireworks show. Thousands of people all gathered together, and the guy who I watched, like, he made the video, he's just like, these people are fucking idiots.
Yep.
And like he just walked out of the gate, got on to the fucking monorail, was the only person on there. Insane. Like, fucking idiots. Speaking of fucking idiots, just to continue this corona thing, there was a picture of like all these people that were off decided to go to a beach, and it's just thousands of them laying on the beach right now.
Yeah, like, I saw that too.
Fucking morons, the whole goddamn lot of them. I swear to Christ, these are the people that make me wonder if Darwin was actually right and there's a theory of evolution, because if there is, man, I need some culling right now.
Well, we may be getting that culling.
Good, we're heading toward purge territory, and that's what I want right now.
Seems like we are on the road to it, so.
Anyway, other than Corona, what have you been up to, man?
I haven't had a whole lot. Excuse me, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play or watch stuff, so not as much as like last week or last time. But
well, just to recap, we both did watch at least one movie.
Yeah,
and that movie
we did watch that.
was Punch Drunk Love.
That was an experience.
We're gonna fucking talk about that movie, but we're gonna wait a little bit before we get to that.
I guess the only thing I've played, other than I've continued playing through Grandia 2, which you know I haven't done that since fucking years ago when it's kind of still new, but yeah, I've been playing through that. The game is still great. Nothing new to report there. But I played the Final Fantasy VII remake demo. Did you?
Nice. Did I play the 7 demo?
Yeah.
Are you asking me if I played the 7
remake
right. demo?
Of course you didn't. You hate that game.
Yeah, we only deal in facts on this channel.
Facts,
Final Fantasy facts. FAXXCKQ. Yes, I played the demo.
I really liked it. I'm looking forward to it. To playing that. It's going to make me actually like Final Fantasy VII, I think.
I really enjoyed the remake. I have issues with things.
Yeah, I don't have the connection that you do, clearly, but
like you're already seeing changes being made to the story, and I'm trying to judge these as two separate things, but that's very hard to do with a piece of media like this. The one thing that I had it was really hard for me to get used to was all of the dialogue with Cloud. Because in the game itself, Cloud is mostly the silent protagonist.
Yeah, he's kind of silent from the bits I've played.
And in this, he's very much snarky.
Oh, dude, he's Edge. No, he's Edge boy.
He is Edge Lord motherfucker.
Whatever.
There's a lot of dialogue in the game.
But he's so pretty.
there's a lot of character changes that I'm seeing so far. But I
Yeah.
don't dislike the demo. I feel like I was worried at first about the transition from the active time battle system to the sort of hybrid 15 active time battle system, but I like it. I feel like it's a good balance.
I do too. I really do
between the
too.
The biggest change in the demo that I've seen so far was them changing the explosion. Now,
Yeah. What, in the original you just like blow up that reactor and like,
in the
fucking
original,
let's go get some beers, and
you blow it up and it's like
you're a terrorist. You're a straight up eco-terrorist.
Yeah, down the line, Barrett has like tackles with that. It's a big part of his storyline, like questioning if what he did was right and all this other stuff. And it's like, as a kid, I remember playing that game and being like, oh man, that's kind of messed up. And like, as an adult, you look back on it and you're like, yeah, 7 may not have like the most adult storyline in the world compared to games that are out now, you know, like BioShock and Last of Us and all that other stuff. But like, for the time, to be playing a terrorist was kind of like a different thing. And I feel like that added some sort of some gravitas, if you will. It added weight to the storyline. And I'm worried they're trying to pull that away. Like, I don't want them to be squeaky clean heroes. Like, they are terrorists.
They still went in with the intent to do it.
Yeah,
like,
but in this alternate remake universe, they didn't.
Like, they went in to do it.
President Shinra blew it up.
Yeah, I'm just Avalanche. They went in with the intention of blowing it up. They just got the punch. They was beaten to the punch and still got blamed for it. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it brought up a lot of questions. I've watched quite a few videos on this, and the person that comically enough, the person I feel like has had the same opinion that I've had on this remake was iPatchWolf, actually. Because if you listen to the Let's Fight a Boss podcast, I don't know if they deal in facts as much as we do, because we only deal in the ultimate facts here. He brought up a good point with this that I didn't think of after the fact, which is, if they're willing to change that part of the storyline, what else are we going to see changed? Because this remake is only like the beginning of the game up to when you leave Midgar.
Yeah, it's out of Midgar, which really makes me wonder how many parts are going to be. That's another thing. I'm really excited to play it. I think it's going to be
3. I think it's going to be 3.
7's a big game, though. You think?
7's a big game, but like they're adding a ton of shit to this. But hold on, back to the iPatchWolf thing, because I don't want to forget this real quick.
Okay.
So he brought up a good point, where if they're willing to change that scene with the bomb, then it makes me a little concerned that they might push up other things. Like, if this whole game is just Midgar, are we going to see Sephiroth early? Because, like, Sephiroth didn't show up until later in the game. And I learned this today. I never knew this. I was watching a video on the making of Final Fantasy VII, and that all of the characters in the game were roughly designed by certain people, except for Sephiroth. Sephiroth was a collaboration effort with the designers. And the one thing that they really pegged on that they thought worked well for him, one of his inspirations was the shark from Jaws. And the reason they did that was, in Jaws, you don't see the shark until almost halfway through the movie. It's that idea that there's a fear in the background, that there's an evil pursuing you that you don't know. It's an unseen force coming after you, and that makes the feeling a little more tangible. And I'm worried we're going to lose that with this. Like, I know at this point, everyone who has played a video game in some form has seen Sephiroth.
Yeah, he's not big secret, and fucking was in what, 97? Is that when 7 came out?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But that shouldn't take away from the impact of the story,
How did you like I played a good chunk of 7. I got when you meet that materia thief girl, I don't remember her name. That that is when she first shows up.
Or Yuffie, whatever.
That's as far as I got, because I'm super interested in Final Fantasy VII's characters and its story, and I like its combat, but I hate out of combat gameplay with a passion in that game. Like, to me, it's been given a really good book, but you have to use giant crab claws to read that book. Like, it's just agony for me to actually play Final Fantasy VII like the original. So I could never get past it. But yeah, I got up to like meeting her, so I've got at least a pretty base idea of what the game is up to that bit. But what did you think about Barrett being less Mr. T and more crazy preacher on the sidewalk?
Oh, I think Barrett is still very much so Mr. T.
Really? I thought he was like, they gave him just that elevator scene. He just gets onto his fucking soapbox, and it was great. Like, I mean, Jesse Barrett's and Cloud
kind of been on a soapbox though. Like Mr. Angry Shaky Gun. I'm disappointed in the demo. I didn't see him shake that gun once at Cloud. Like, but I don't know. Here's the thing, right? I like Barrett as a character. I never used him in my main party when I was playing that game. Mm-hmm. I like Barrett's storyline, but Barrett in the remake feels, once again, like a Japanese man's interpretation of what a black man is. Like, it is Japan being Japan, and I can only give them so much leeway for this. Come on, Japan, you've been making these games for almost 40 years at this point. Come on.
The earth bleeds green like we bleed red. You can hear it. I know you can. Points the finger at him.
I'm hoping it's something.
I really liked that bit. That may have been one of my favorite parts of that whole demo.
I'm really hoping that at some point we see Sephiroth and Barrett just gets angry at him and starts cursing at him like, fuck you, man. But
Jesse wanted that Cloud dick.
Yeah.
She was thirsty. She was real thirsty.
I was really surprised at how many people online are jumping on like the Jessie bandwagon, and they're angry that they're making her like seem so thirsty for the Cloud dick.
I mean, have you seen Cloud? New Cloud's he's pretty. He's pretty. He's a little femboyish, but you know, he's pretty. But
Cloud's always been a femboy, always. Just in '97, he was tiny pixelated femboy. And then we got Advent Children, and everybody saw what Cloud really was.
But I mean, I liked Jessie in the demo. I don't remember her very much from playing the original when I did play it, but I mean, I like her in the demo. She seems fun.
Yeah, it's interesting because they seem to be giving a lot more emphasis on the side characters in this, which makes sense because with the game staying in Midgar, from what I've read, these characters are going to have a much more fleshed out story, which I'm cool with. And
yeah, they need to be a little bit more thicker than the cardboard that some of them were, just to get you the next bit.
Let's face it, if this game is supposed to be like 80 hours long and only go through like a third of the game, then we're either going to get a lot more character backstory, or that scene in Don Corneo's mansion with Cloud cross-dressing is going to be 40 hours long. So
I mean, that's what we're all here for, though.
Oh, clearly.
We're all here for it. Just, I mean, like, I'm cool with it staying in Midgar lore. I know a lot of people, like, hate Midgar, and I mean, I guess it is a little bit of a slog, especially when you get to the rest of the game and it opens up.
Well, that's the caveat to it. It's like everybody hated Midgar after they left it, but like when you were first in there, it was like, holy crap, there was a lot to do in this city.
It had all those those like the pre-rendered backgrounds. Like, I remember, I think there was one bit you go through and it has just like a big fucking robot arm you gotta walk across. I'm like, that's really cool. Why is there a big robot arm here? I would like to know this. And I'm sure there's fucking lore. There's probably a fucking war, some shit that I'm not the Final Fantasy VII man, but like, I'm excited to see more of Midgar.
Yeah. There's a lot to the design of Midgar and like the cities in general with this that were really fascinating. I'll have to link you to the video I watched today. It's not that long. It's like 20 minutes, but it talks about like the conceptual history of Final Fantasy VII and how this was the first game where they really wanted to completely move away from the idea of traditional fantasy. With, like,
this was the first one, wasn't it?
Technically 6 was. Like 6 did have like I forget what's called, the magic in it. Like I forget what they called it. But they had like the mechs in there and shit.
Oh, that's right. They did have the mechs. Yeah, I had to remember which one 6 was because, like, you know,
Crazy Clown.
Kefka. Yeah, Kefka. The one with Kefka. Because you fucking
All you
Final
have to
Fantasy
remember
naming
about
conventions
6,
got so crazy when they brought them here, so I had to
here's
make
the thing,
sure
if you ever want to remember
3/6.
all you need to do is think about Final Fantasy 7, and then Final Fantasy 6 is the game that every other hipster swears is better than 7. And then you've got Final Fantasy 8, which is a great game, but unfortunately had to follow up Final Fantasy 7.
I have plans on playing 8. I bought the remaster.
Yeah,
I think I tried once, and then
speed through that shit.
that junction system tutorial put me to sleep. So after that I was like, man, I need a break, and I never picked it back up.
At the time, like, the junction system was interesting, but now it's definitely kind of a slog to work through. I need to play 9 at some point. I've never played 9.
9 is one of the few, I think that and 15 are the only two I've actually beat. I played through 9 like last year or the year before. That's a really, really solid RPG. I liked that one a lot.
When I first bought my PS4, Jonathan gave me a copy of Final Fantasy 15. It was like the Royal Edition that had
has
DLC and
everything. No, it has everything.
I went and installed it. I have never loaded it.
I liked 15. There are definitely problems with it, but the overall story and just hanging out with the boys in that game, that's kind of what I was there for, so I really enjoyed a lot of 15.
Yeah, I'm a level with you with the 7 remake coming out and Animal Crossing coming out. I ain't got time for that shit, son.
No, it's understandable.
But yeah, I'm excited for the 7 remake. I'm excited to see where they're going to go with it. Obviously, the biggest draw for me is being able to see like these environments and these characters expanded on and see more of it. It should be fun. I'm hoping that my copy of the game doesn't get delayed because of Corona, because I'm gonna be fucking angry. So
yeah, that's gonna be the thing. We're gonna see.
I've got first game I've ever bought through the Square store. So
why'd you get it through the Square store?
Because we bought the first class edition of the game.
Oh, doesn't that have like Cloud on his bike?
Yeah, it was like $350, I think. Yeah, dude. We knew the minute this remake was coming out. I looked at Mario and I was like, we're buying whatever the most expensive version of this is. I don't care if it's $1,000 and gets me a tattoo on my dick of the meteor. We're buying that version of it. So
Mari's just pinching the bridge of her nose, just god damn.
No, she is excited as I am. Like, we saw that shit, we were like, done, let's do it. Like, so anyway, yeah, 7 remake. I haven't really been playing anything. I've been playing
I haven't
Fortnite
played
with Jen.
anything else. I
started playing Modern Warfare again. I mean, that's been fun.
I haven't played it obviously, but just before I hopped on to record this, I bought River City Girls because it's like on sale for like $20. Probably. It's been on my radar for a minute. I'm looking. I'm like, it's like $10 off. Fuck it. I want to play it. This game looks cute as hell. I like
Switch?
I like Punch Girl. Yeah, it is.
I
like tough Punch Girl characters, so that's always fun.
I lied. I have been playing game. I've been going through Katana Zero.
Oh, finally!
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I went through like.
Sorry, I'm raspy by the way. Fucking cannot shake this shit.
I played like 4 or 5 hours of that game when I first got it, and I was like, this is super fun. And then I just stopped playing the Switch. Like, other stuff was coming out that I was interested in. Life got really hectic, and I kind of forgot the system existed. And then we picked up the Animal Crossing edition of the Switch that we pre-ordered. And, like, I got everything transferred over, and that was sitting on the main menu. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to play some more of this. So, I don't know where I'm at in terms of the story right now. I just got... It's so hard to track, like, where that story goes late game.
It is. It is. Like, the story is there, and it's cool that it's there, but, you know, we're here for the time-traveling samurai.
I just went through the level where you have to go down the elevator shafts, and it's, like, different rooms you're going through. It's annoying as fuck. I don't know. But
you are describing a lot of levels in that game.
No, it's the only level where you're going down constantly. Like, you get on the elevator and you go down, you have to clear a floor. You go down another elevator, you have to clear a floor.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Have you had to do the laser room yet?
There have been a lot of laser rooms.
This is one where you were sent through a gauntlet of lasers you have to constantly warp through. Like like Resident Evil movie style
I
laser
did
walls.
one level where I had to dodge the sniper while the laser grid was going back and forth.
Yes.
That was really easy because all you have to do is roll.
Yeah. That part took me a long time. The sniper was barely an afterthought because I was too busy, because it speeds up. It gets real fast.
Yeah, you got to hit that roll right when it's near you. And you have to wait till like the lasers merge a little bit, because if you do it when there's all 4 of them, you miss it sometimes. But yeah, Katana Zero's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, I love that game. I'm really looking forward to the next one. Hopefully there is.
I might start playing Stardew again. Like I bought Stardew on the Switch because I got it for like fucking $5. It was dirt cheap, and I started playing that again today. And then I was like, wait a minute, Animal Crossing comes out in like 2 days. There's not much of a point to this right now.
I never could get into Stardew. I bought it on the PlayStation. I waited for it to go on sale on the PlayStation for like months, and it finally got on there. I started playing. I was like, man, I really don't want to farm. Like, I think I just want to play Animal Crossing. I think I'm just going to wait for an Animal Crossing to come out.
It took me a minute to get into Stardew because there's a ton of shit to it. And once I kind of got into the grind and learned who certain people were, like, it's not that bad. I don't mind it. It's definitely very Harvest Moony.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm really willing to, like, refigure out the controls and everything with Animal Crossing coming out. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But speaking of Animal Crossing, that's like a nice little segue into one of the few articles I did bring up for us to discuss, which is apparently GameStop workers say that the company is not addressing coronavirus at all. They haven't even sent out like extra sanitizing stuff to the stores, and nothing has gone down about like cutting hours or anything.
Yeah, I had originally, I put like $5 down on Animal Crossing at GameStop because they were like, hey, get like $10 power-up rewards money if you buy Animal Crossing or pre-order Animal Crossing with it. And I'm like, all right, cool, I can use that towards whatever. And they're like, all right, you can come and get it Thursday night. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, are you guys going to be open for that? With, you know, everything that's going on? She's like, as far as we know, we don't know. But they called me today and said, come and get it Friday morning instead.
Yeah, I got the same call for Animal Crossing.
So I'm just like, And I was like, oh, man, I got to work Friday morning. I'll just get it from Amazon. Because I gotta work, and I don't want to risk GameStop not being open Friday afternoon when I get off work. So I'm just like, I really want to play Animal Crossing this weekend.
We had a ton of things we had to cancel, like stuff that we had pre-ordered that we never picked up, and we went to the store and we just took that money and threw it on Animal Crossing, and it was like $50 in credit. So by the end of it, it was like, well, hopefully GameStop's open. Because if they close, I'm buying that shit digitally. I'm not waiting to play Animal Crossing.
Yeah. I just gotta hope that the Postal Service stays strong for a little longer, just the rest of the week, so I can get Doom and Animal Crossing.
I might actually pick up Doom myself. I never finished going through the 2016 one, but like I watched the trailer for Eternal. It looks really cool. Yeah, I should, but I'm not going to. I'm more interested in playing something new than going through the 2016 one. So for me, I'm gonna backtrack my way through Doom if I do this. I'll play Eternal, and then I'll probably play 2016. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, Animal Crossing is going to consume my fucking soul for a while.
I really hope this one like keeps me interested longer than the last couple have. I think we talked about it last time, but I think the last one that really got hold of me was one of either the DS or the 3DS one. I think the Wii U one I played like 3 times.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I've been collecting people's friend codes so I can jaunt off to their islands. But
plant trees in front of their neighbors' houses, you know.
Let's see, Zach. Do you want to keep talking about game stuff, or do you want to talk about movies?
I don't have any more game stuff to really talk about.
I have 2 game articles that kind of tie into each other, and then one article on the cinema, if you will. So let's stick with the game stuff. So Microsoft, I'll give Microsoft credit where it's due. They've just been throwing information out about the Series X. Like, Sony was like, hey, we have a logo. Have you guys seen our logo? Microsoft's like, hey, we invited Digital Foundry to Redmond, Washington, and tore down our system. Put
I
all
heard
the parts
about
on
that.
a table. Do you want to look at it? Do you want to touch it? So I went through and watched the video of this. It's like 20 minutes long. And I mean, like, I have never seen a console teardown of, like, something that hasn't even come out that's as thorough as this thing. Like, they even let them examine the little green strip of LED plastic on the top of the system that creates the little light effect. And, I mean, overall, dude, it seems like a pretty impressive system.
But did you hear about the expandable hard drive thing? That it's going to...
Yeah, it's a memory card.
It's going to be an expensive format is what I've heard. Like,
yeah,
it's
a fucking tiny NVMe drive.
Yeah, like $200 or something like that is what some people are projecting. Like,
I don't know about that. Like, 200 seems excessive. You can get a 1 terabyte NVMe, like a mid-end one, for about $110 right now.
But it depends on if that takes its own special Xbox. Was it Xbox X? Version or something. Like, I don't know.
They're using a
or
proprietary
Vita
connection format for it, but it's still an NVMe drive. So, like, the mechanics of it aren't going to be any different than a standard one. The problem with the Vita cards was Sony just decided to create their own goddamn format again, which is fucking stupid.
So stupid.
Now,
they didn't learn with Betamax, did they? Oh, so wait, but Blu-ray worked out for them, so, well, shit.
Yeah, but they didn't learn about UMD, did they? Everybody fucking forgets about UMDs.
Because no one fucking bought UMDs.
So the system itself has a terabyte of memory built into it, which may not seem like a lot, but you also have the ability to store games on standard USB, like, mechanical hard drives if you want to do that. The only thing is that they said, like, if you can store Xbox One and all other previous, like, generations, like 360 and Xbox games, on a standard portable hard drive, and you can run games off of that. You cannot run Xbox One X or the Series X games off of those. They have to be off the NVMe drive. So, honestly, right now, I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. 1 terabyte is plenty of space for me on the console. We live in a generation where if I really want to play something, I can fucking re-download it. It's not going to take me that long. And I'm curious to see what these little memory card things are going to cost, because they remind me. Do you remember the memory cards for the Xbox 360?
Vaguely. I don't think I ever had one.
I hated those fucking
I just
things.
bought hard drives.
They kind of remind me of that, but I mean, nonetheless, it seems like a pretty interesting system. I'm more interested in the design aesthetic of it because it's all stacked vertically, and you could just slide the guts of the system in and out. So that's really cool. It does come with a 4K UHD Blu-ray drive, which we already knew, but getting confirmation of it was really nice. So that means, like, if you have a 4K TV, you don't have to buy a separate UHD player now. You can get either that or the PS5 and run you can watch full UHD off of that, which is nice. 16 gigs of GDDR6 inside of it. GPU is it's probably going to be a custom 5700X, which is kind of neat. I'm very curious to see what this thing can pull off, and I think they did say they're going to do another, like, a press conference streaming thing this week showing off the quote xCloud architecture, which they showed a little bit of in the Digital Foundry video, with, like, being able to pause games and, like, just jump seamlessly between other titles. Like, they had 3 different games up, and you were able to back out, load that game, and it remembered exactly where you were, even if you do a system update or a restart, which is kind of fascinating. So it's like a more advanced version of the save states.
But what about the games?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be the main thing.
Yeah, we'll see those probably in a month. Who knows? They're going to have to set something up for, I guess, E3 streaming, whatever they're going to decide to do.
I I think they're gonna do their own thing, dude. E3 got canceled.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're gonna have to do something to simulate it. So I think we're gonna see a bunch of companies doing that.
I wonder if this is gonna kill off E3.
It might. I don't know.
Like overall, when all the companies are like, yeah, we can just do this. We don't have to. We could just do it here. It's fine. Everyone's just gonna watch the stream anyway. Like I wonder if that's gonna kill E3.
The one thing they have not confirmed, obviously, is the price. I think that both companies are waiting to pull the trigger on that to see what the other one's going to announce. But I would be surprised if we don't at least get a price for one of the systems by, E3 time frame. So like May. Mm-hmm. But the other gaming news I have is that Sony finally came out and said that tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon, obviously not at midnight, they're going to reveal details about the PS5. So we'll get information on that tomorrow finally.
Cool.
See how it compares. So, next Retrotainment podcast, you can expect full video game facts, only the truth.
Only the truth.
About the PS5. And the last bit of news I have here, this is probably going to be one of the shorter podcasts we have, but the last bit of news I have here is an interesting one. So Universal is the first film company that I know of that they're going to make one of their newer releases available for streaming since the theaters are closed down.
It's the Troll. Is it the Troll movie?
Yeah. So they're going to do the Trolls. I think it's Trolls World Tour is the one that was supposed to come out, but they're gonna let you stream it as a rental. They're also going to be releasing the Invisible Man, The Hunt. And there was another one. I'm kind of interested in the Invisible Man. At first, it seemed kind of campy, but I've seen a few reviews of it where a lot of people are saying it doesn't really follow the mold you're expecting. Mm-hmm. So I might check that out.
As long as it's better than Hollow Man.
Dude, the only thing I remember about Hollow Man was that woman getting her tit groped really awkwardly.
Yeah, that's the only part anyone remembers.
Yeah, it's funny thing about that movie, pretty hollow in terms of story.
I think it had a sequel too, and I think I watched that too. But
Hollow Man 2, Electric Hollowloo.
Hi, exactly. But that's really cool. I've actually been wanting direct to streaming like brand new movies for a while, because I'm like, man, I want to go see this movie, but man, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to go and fight the fucking crowds at the theater. Like that is something I've been rallying for a while, but it's cool that this might like finally make it more of a thing. $20 though, woof.
That's nothing, dude. $20 is more than 2 movie tickets.
Not here. Here it's like 8 is high. Well. Depends on where you go.
No.
The theater in town is matinee price is about like $6 something.
Yeah,
actual full movie ticket is like $9.
No, that's if you go to a matinee. This is simulating like if you're going opening night on a Friday to see a movie.
The theater in town here is really cheap, Josh. It's really cheap.
Look, I don't know what sort of bullshit theaters you have down there.
It's an independent theater, I guess. They could do that.
It is, dude. Even independent theaters up here, if we were to go to like the Angelica or anything, we would still be paying at least $25 for 2 tickets. And even taking that into account, you don't have to buy theater food. And I know people are going to say, well, Josh, you don't have to buy theater food when you go anyway. That's true. If you have self-control, you don't have to. But if you
I have self-control, fuck that. I ain't paying that shit.
I love ices way too much to not want to get that shit. But it removes that. And the big draw for this, I think, is they're trying to pull people in that have kids. So, like, you don't have to take the kids to the theater. You can stay at the house. You can just watch the movie.
No kids in a theater. I'd go to the theater just if they're like, hey, there's no kids here. Fucking give me a ticket. Give me 3. I'll take up 3 seats.
I think $20 is an interesting price point for this, and I want to see how much further this is going to go, because if these closures keep going, they've already delayed these movies. Like fucking Fast and the Furious got delayed an entire year.
The new 007 as well got delayed.
Yep, that got delayed. New Mutants got delayed. Fucking.
Well, I mean, fucking who cares about New
filming of The Witcher got delayed, which is more important to me than fucking any of the movies we've just talked about so far. But it's definitely an interesting experiment to see how this is going to impact the bottom line of theaters, which is already hurting a little bit.
And it is a 48-hour rental too. You don't just like watch. I think that I'm pretty sure that's what I read. 48 hours is a long time. You can watch that movie a few times. You can throw up your capture device and pirate that movie if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's going to be another thing about this that we're going to have to look into is like, what's the piracy rate of these movies going to be after Friday?
I mean, shit, you can already get like full HD versions of brand new movies on like torrent websites if you want to look for them. It's not like they're hard to come across already. It's just it's going to be easier for the everyman to do it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I used to pirate movies all the time. It's just not worth the hassle hunting that shit down anymore. Like,
if I just can't look, if I can't find the movie if I can't find it to stream without some stupid fucking yet another subscription service, or if I can't find it at the library, if I have used all other reasonable avenues, fucking I will fucking pirate it. But like I'm gonna go after the easier option, so I'm gonna try and stream that shit if I can, or get it from the library.
Yeah. So, fun stuff. And speaking of fun stuff, and speaking of movies, I think maybe now it's time we move into talking about a little movie that we watched called Punch Drunk Love.
But Josh, I didn't get to tell you about how much I hated Lighthouse.
Oh, well, why didn't you fucking mention anything?
Because you kept going.
Dude, fucking interrupt me.
Did you watch Terminator Dark Fate?
So, timeout. We're not going to talk about Punch Drunk Love right now. We're going to talk about Lighthouse. And then we're going to talk about Terminator Dark Fate.
These are important things, Josh.
And then we're going to talk about Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
So, Zach, tell me why you hated Lighthouse.
Because it was a... I don't know, man. That movie felt like Oscar bait to me. So actually,
that movie felt like Oscar bait to you?
It fucking felt like Oscar bait.
That movie felt like Oscar bait to you?
Yes, it felt like Oscar bait.
Someone in
a podcast I listened to referred to it as the ultimate Reddit movie.
Clearly, they've never seen Captain Marvel.
But like, fucking, look, Willem Dafoe did great.
Robert
Pattinson did great. He dropped his accent a couple times. I wasn't always sure what accent he was going for, but it's fine. He did great. It was beautifully shot. It was beautifully acted. But I just hated that movie. By the end of it, I was just like, thank God. Yes, we get it. All the fucking Greek mythology reference. I get it.
That's so disappointing. I love that movie.
I did not like
it's
that movie.
Fucking weird.
It was weird, man. It was definitely weird, but like I was just ready for it to be
just
done.
Kept evolving. Dude, the scene where he beat the seagull to death, I was like, that is one of the funniest things I've seen in years.
Yeah, like it definitely had its like positives to it. It really did, but like I would never watch that movie again.
That is fundamentally disappointing to me. I don't know if I would watch it again, but I would buy it. Damn, that's so sad. Well, I guess we should probably talk about Terminator Dark Fate, because something tells me we're going to have differing opinions on this one.
Wow. Did you not like it?
I don't know how I felt about it. So why don't you tell me how you felt about it, and then we'll see. No, I'm lying. I didn't like it at all.
You didn't like it at all? Wow.
Maybe not at all is a little harsh. I'll say this. Terminator Dark Fate is James Cameron and Tim Miller attempting to take all these little nostalgic throwbacks to Terminator 2 and create a modern version of that film while simultaneously appeasing to fans of Terminator 2 while doing neither thing successfully.
Man, I am easier to please. Established.
I will tell you the things I liked about this movie. I really enjoyed the idea that there are augmented humans in the future. I feel like that's kind of a natural progression. While I appreciate that this is essentially a splinter timeline from Terminator 2 in a weird way, because it's like, so this, I guess, takes Genesis and what's the
yeah, they're gone. Three Salvation and Genesis are gone. They're gone, which is fine.
Yeah, so this removes them from canon, which is fine by me.
It's fine. Every movie has removed the previous movie from canon except for 3 because they're not going to remove 2 from canon.
Yeah, because Terminator 2 is unquestionably the greatest sequel ever made in the history of film.
Facts.
Come at me. And I'm a Star Wars fan. I will put this over Empire any day of the week. Come at me. Fucking Die Hard 2 better than this? Suck my dick. With a Vengeance was better than Die Hard 2. Terminator 2, greatest sequel in the history of cinema. Two Towers better than the first one. Return of the King was better than all of them. Fuck off. Clerks 2 better than 1? You're out of your goddamn mind. Come at me. I will fuck you up. Terminator 2, best sequel ever made.
Big
Terminator
facts.
Dark Fate, okay movie. But let's get into this a little bit more. I enjoyed the action in it sometimes. Like the first fight scene between Grace and the Rev 9, like when they're on the highway. I was watching this with Mari, and like they go into the car factory and like shit starts going down. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then they get into the little truck. I'm like, oh, so they're gonna run away from him in a little truck. He's gonna have a bigger truck. And then a minute later, he rolls out in the bulldozer. I'm like, okay, so they're kind of copying the end scene from Terminator.
Oh yeah, there was
that's fine.
There's definitely some throwbacks.
There's a ton of fucking throwbacks to Terminator 2 in this. This whole movie is built on the idea of taking those established shots and scenes and recreating them. Dude, they even brought back the guard from the psych ward. The psych ward, the one that was getting, remember he was getting his coffee and like matching the card symbols, and then the T-1000 like put the finger knife through his eye. They brought him back for this. He was the guard in the where they took like the detainees trying to cross the border, the one where he was like, yeah, 2 tours in Afghanistan. He was like, well, thank you for your service. That was that guard. They brought that motherfucker back as a throwback guard. I like the idea of augmented humans. I think that the Rev 9 is a cool concept that I really needed more explained to me. Like the T-1000 was... The thing that's great about Terminator 2 is that if you have never seen Terminator 1, you can watch Terminator 2.
Yeah,
and
you're
enough
fine.
is enough to explain that you'll understand it.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Now, to be fair, you could watch Dark Fate and probably still understand what's going on if you've never seen another Terminator. But Terminator 2 took time in the story to explain the differences between the Model 101 and the fucking T-1000. This one is just like, it's a Rev 9, and then they mention a Rev 7 at some point, which you don't see anything other than it fucking
Okay,
has
so it could
Doc
use a little
Ock.
bit more world building, I guess.
I would have liked a lot more world building in this, because truthfully, I think my favorite part of this movie is the alternate future. Like, I didn't watch all of, what's the one, I think Salvation.
Salvation was Terminator 4, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Genesis was the last one that came.
That was 5. I didn't see Salvation. I did see Genesis, and I didn't despise Genesis.
I never saw Genesis. I refused to watch it.
It was a movie. I didn't hate it like I hated
Maybe I'll
3.
watch that next then.
But Salvation, I think, might be on Netflix. I've been thinking about hate watching it.
Terminator 3 is fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah, no. No one's arguing.
I do not understand at all how Terminator 3 followed Terminator 2. It would be like if you had The Empire Strikes Back, and then the movie that came out after that was Rise of Skywalker. It just doesn't make sense at all. But I enjoyed the future aspect of it. I think the things that made me the most like disappointed in this film is that it feels rushed at certain points, and it's a lot of jumping between characters. Like in Terminator 2, there's enough meat in the scenes so that when you jump to the T-1000 going to talk to John's foster parents, and then it jumps back to the mall, that you're like, okay, that still feels fleshed out enough. This, I feel like every other scene we're seeing Gabrielle Luna, who plays the Rev 9, do something, and then it cuts back to Grace and what was her name? The fucking Danny. Danny, that's it. Yeah, it goes back to Grace and Danny, and Grace is saying, I need to protect you, and Danny's like, but why? And Sarah's like, I need a drink. Like,
oh, come on. Tell me you didn't like old Sarah.
First of all, Linda Hamilton is my spirit animal. I love that woman to death.
Tell me you didn't love seeing old punished Sarah Connor come back.
I would love to point out the fact that she had the Sarah Connor gun when they went to Arnie's house. She was holding it, and I was like, my girl, there's my gun. Thank you. Throwback to Battlefield fucking 2 there. But I didn't feel connected to anybody in this film at all. Excuse me. It's Grace I didn't feel any connection to. Danny I felt no connection to whatsoever as a character. Even like the Terminator, I didn't like that, spoiler alert, that they killed John in this movie.
That's like first 5 minutes.
Yeah, which is fucking weird. Like, you just start the movie with John being murked in a fucking bar somewhere in Mexico. Like,
I'm good with it, and here's why, and here's my reasoning. The last 3 movies starred John Connor, and it didn't do them any good.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I feel like you don't need to kill John for that to happen. Because Terminator fucks with time paradoxes enough that realistically, they could have just been like, oh no, now there's another AI being developed called Legion, and it takes over Skynet, and John's not a threat anymore. Instead of just killing John like that. It felt really forced, and it feels like the only reason they did it the way they did was so they could introduce another Terminator. Because one thing I wasn't expecting, I thought that Arnie was going to be the same fucking Terminator from 2. And the whole time I'm like, how the fuck are they going to explain this shit?
Yeah, it's the one who shot John.
Yeah. Because they needed some way to introduce another Terminator. I appreciate that they tried to give the Terminator a little personality in this. I feel like that was an interesting sort of evolution of the original Terminator in this in 2, like learning to become more human as the story went on, whereas this Terminator has had like 20 years, I think, to figure this stuff out. So I don't know. By the end of it, I was like, it didn't feel like enough for me. It wasn't bad. I didn't hate it, but just let the series die now, please. Like, I don't need another fucking Terminator. I don't want it. The only other Terminator I want from somebody is if we're only going to deal with the future. That's it.
That's what Salvation was, I'm pretty sure. I think Salvation was...
The only Terminator I want is one that deals with the future and doesn't have Christian Bale in it.
Oh, good for you. And how was that?
You know, I played through the entire Terminator Salvation game on the 360 because we got it at the library, and it was like an easy 1,000 points.
It's on Netflix. I keep meaning to just watch it because that's the only one I've never seen, and I'm just
dude, we should start doing movie nights again. Like fucking sync that shit up and make fun of it. I miss it.
Yeah, we could do that. You don't have to have PlayStation Plus to be in party chat anymore. So,
I would say this about Terminator Dark Fate. If it is going to be the sequel to 2, fine. Let it die. And if you're going to do anything else with Terminator, make it completely original or just end the fucking series. It doesn't need to exist anymore. Terminator Dark Fate, 6 out of 10.
I'd give it a good solid 8. 8 to 9. I really liked it, but I'm easier to please. Unless it's The Lighthouse, in which I have a fucking hate boner for, apparently.
Lighthouse, 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, boo, 3.
Yeah. You give Terminator Dark Fate a 9, the first thing I'm going to do is slap you the next time I see you at MagFest.
I like
a copy
that movie
of Terminator
a lot.
Dark Fate, and I'll record it and put it on the channel.
I enjoyed the budding lesbian romance of Grace and Danny, even though if Danny didn't have that much development beyond my
I
parents are dead, I must be strong now. But I liked Grace a lot. I thought
did
Grace was
enjoy
cool as
seeing,
shit.
I think her name is Mackenzie Davis. You know, *Halt and Catch Fire*. Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
I like her in most things I see her in. She always tends to play like the snarky, you know, smartass or whatever. But
Girl is tall.
I like her as an actress, so it was neat to see her in this.
I really liked her character in Dark Fate.
So let's talk about Punch Drunk Love now. Or is
Punch
there anything
Drunk
else you want to
Love.
talk about?
No, I was going to tell you about Beastars, but
I have not watched it yet. Actually, like Junin pointed it out, and he was like, "This looks kind of interesting." So yeah, I don't know.
I guess he's probably old enough for it, but like,
Dude, that boy sat through the uncut version of RoboCop.
Okay, yeah, fair. I mean, I liked Beastars, but we don't have to talk about it.
We'll talk about that next time because I want to watch some of it. Seriously, let's talk about Punch Drunk Love because here's the deal, people. I don't have what I would call a strict criteria for film to meet for me to enjoy it. I try and go to a movie open-minded, and unless like I'm expecting bad things like Cats, then for the most part, I give most movies a blank slate. I will tell you this. My favorite movie of all time, personally, is a movie called Gattaca. Came out in like 1999 or whatever. Might not be the best movie ever, but I love it. For the longest time, a movie that I considered to be the worst film of all time was the remake of Rollerball with Chris Klein from like the early 2000s and LL Cool J. That movie was shit. The most... If you looked up shit in the dictionary in like the mid-2000s, the remake of Rollerball was sitting right there until Avatar: The Last Airbender came out. Oh, and then that easily took over that spot.
That one's bad because that one feels like a betrayal.
Yeah, like... it feels like a complete betrayal. You know what else felt like a betrayal?
That one hits you where you live.
When I fucking saw Suicide Squad, that started to kind of climb up there and like kind of poke at the heels of Last Airbender. And then I saw a movie called Mother from Darren Aronofsky, which surprised the hell out of me because I hated it. I almost wanted to die while watching that movie. It was so fucking bad. If they would have given me a knife and be like, if you cut your wrist, we'll just heat up the seat a little bit so you can just bleed out quicker instead of having to watch this movie. That's how I felt about Mother. But you know what movie that was worse than almost all of them? Fucking Punch Drunk Love. What the fuck was this movie about? This movie was like watching someone shove their hand slowly up my ass for an hour and a half, and then by the end of it, they just open their hand wide and just dig it around a little bit, wedding ring and all, right in the cavity. What the fuck was this stupid fucking movie about? I don't understand.
Nothing. I don't think it was. I don't think it had a point at all. I don't think I hate it with as much like passion and vitriol that you did. But it was fucking dumb.
I do not know if this movie is gonna overtake Last Airbender. Like, I need to reflect a little bit on this more. But let me tell you what the movie is about, or I'll fucking try and tell you what.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I am not even gonna take a swing at this one.
So Adam Sandler plays a character who runs his own company developing plungers and like
fungers,
small other assorted things, and I guess he's socially inept and has arguably the worst family in cinema history. Like, fucking Gail the Snail is his sister. And
Salt the Snail. Salt the Snail.
Like, they are constantly ridiculing him. And Adam Sandler runs his own business, and he's socially inept. He's introduced to this character through his sister that he kind of starts to have feelings for. She tells him that she's going on this business trip to Hawaii, and he figures out this whole convoluted way of like gathering airline miles to go visit her in Hawaii. And there's this whole backstory where he calls a sex hotline and gives the fucking sex hotline his social security number. And they blackmail him for money, and it devolves into him getting into a shouting match.
$500 is like all they get out of him, I think.
Yeah, it devolves into like Adam Sandler having a shouting match with Philip Seymour Hoffman in a mattress store somewhere in Ohio. And Look, here's the thing. I'm normally pretty good at trying to describe what movies are about, but in order for me to describe what a movie's about, it has to have a fucking story behind it that's worth me paying attention to. The only good things I can pick out of this movie are that Luis Guzman, as always, is great because I fucking love Luis Guzman.
He is just good at what he does.
I will say that Robert Smigel, who is a comic genius, he made Triumph the Comic Insult Dog, Ambiguously Gay Duo, for anybody that remembers that shit.
Oh, Ambiguously Gay Duo!
Robert
man,
Smigel,
that's a fucking callback. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, he was a writer for SNL for the longest time. He was in this movie. He plays the brother who's the dentist, tries to get him help. Like Adam Sandler talks with him in the washing room or whatever. He's great in this. Even Adam Sandler at points like is great. He's good in this. He does have moments where like he's serious, and I like that. Like Adam Sandler's acting ability, I'm not really calling into question with this film. What I'm calling into question with this film is the fucking film itself and how this movie came from Paul Thomas Anderson, the same guy that gave me There Will Be Blood, makes no goddamn sense to me at all.
Is it? Is this from the same fucking Mind Grapes?
Yes.
Oh, this must have been the, all right, you can make whatever you want. We let you make whatever you want. But you got a budget, so you got to work in that budget.
I'm almost certain. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Zach, why don't you talk about the movie for a few minutes? I'm gonna look something up.
Oh shit. No, this movie was kind of trash. I don't think I hated it as much as you did. The whole time I was like, okay. In the very beginning, he's like. Adam Sandler, who is wearing the same suit in the entire movie, by the way, like a blue fucking suit.
There's a theory behind this, which I like, and I will explain when you're done.
He is standing, like, drinking his coffee on the side of the road, and a van fucking Burnout-style flip wrecks just across the road, like, going by, just fucking crazy flips and crashes, but then suddenly backs up, drops off a piano, a little miniature piano, and drives off. And as soon as that happened, I was like, that's the kind of movie. Okay. All right. That just sets the tone for the rest of the movie right there. Fucking... And, like, the piano doesn't do anything. He kind of, like, plays with it, tries to repair it here and there, but it serves no purpose other than him to just fiddle with when he's talking on the phone.
So
it's fucking weird.
I think that my dislike for the general story of this film caused me to miss a lot of symbolism in it.
Oh, you were blinded by hate.
And I looked it up, by the way. I seriously think that this was like his third or fourth movie. Like, let's see. This movie came out in 2002. Boogie Nights came out in 97.
Oh man, Boogie Nights was great.
He has like some other movies that came out in like the late 80s, but I mean, really, if we're talking like Paul Thomas Anderson in the era that most people know him, you know, Boogie Nights is the movie that I feel most people got to know him from. And then Punch Drunk Love was 2002. There Will Be Blood was 2007. Oh, Magnolia came out in 99.
There Will Be Blood is on Netflix again, by the way, if you ever need to just watch that.
I bought it. Like, after we got done talking about it, I was like, I've watched this movie so many times, I need to just own it.
Fair enough. But anyway, did you say Steel Magnolias?
No, just Magnolia, not Steel Magnolias. two very different movies. But no, then The Master came out in 2012, which if you've never seen The Master, we should watch that at some point.
Fuck is The Master?
It is an experience. It is, from what I've been told, it is supposed to be like a loose adaptation of somebody discovering like the cinematic equivalent of Scientology almost. Ooh. It is an intense movie. It's Joaquin Phoenix. Technically, we could parallel from this to that because Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it. But nonetheless, that came out in 2012, and then Phantom Thread came out in 2017, which was the last movie he did with Daniel Day-Lewis. But anyway, so the story for this movie is so incomprehensible to me. I feel like there's no direct story. It's just an awkward character in awkward moments doing awkward things. And then he runs off to Hawaii, which this woman is insane. If somebody fucking flew off to Hawaii to chase me on a business trip, I would not invite them into my hotel room. I would probably call the police. And then there's this whole scene at the end where like he goes to confront the people that are like blackmailing him, and at some point he beats the shit out of them.
Yeah, he just has a fucking like badass moment with a tire iron and just like fucking one-shots everybody.
Yeah, except the one guy in the back who just points to is like, go warn them or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Tell
him I'm coming.
The one fan theory for this movie that I think is fascinating is that this is supposed to be an alternate telling of Superman. That he's awkward, his family is relatively normal, he's always wearing blue and there are hints of red in the film. His female love interest, her initials are LL, like Lois Lane. And the people point out like he made an unbreakable plunger that he manages to shatter just by tapping it. And some people are like, oh, well, that's supposed to be comedy in the film. And other people are like, oh, well, that's proof that he's super strong. He also breaks an entire bathroom apart, beats the crap out of those guys with a tire iron in one hit, which granted, a tire iron would like anybody swinging that's going to do some damage.
Yeah, it's a fucking tire iron.
Like what he was punching the concrete wall was continuously running around and not really getting that winded. So I do kind of appreciate this awkward fan theory that it's a reimagining of Superman.
I can see it. I don't love it, but I can see it.
So like the weird, you know, like the weird almost dreamlike transitions in the film where it's just like the blurs of color.
Yeah.
If you look at the blurs of color, they all line up with the colors of his outfits. So interesting take there. Doesn't change the fact that I hated this movie. You know what I would rather watch over this movie? Batman v Superman, not the director's cut.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Be careful with that hot take.
I did not like this movie. This movie, 2 out of 10.
Man, I was at least gonna give it like a 3.5.
Nope, it gets a 2 out of 10.
A pity 3.
One point is
for
for
and
Robert
a pity
Smigel.
half.
1 point's for Robert Smigel. 1 point's for Luis Guzman. That's it.
All right.
2 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Oof.
So, now that we're done talking about that piece of shit, what piece of shit are you gonna make me watch, Zach?
This one was a really easy choice because it was one that I've been meaning to watch anyway, and it's actually just came out 2 or 3 months ago. Uncut Gems. It's on Netflix.
Oh my god, we have to watch another Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What did we connect into? That's right. We did Luis Guzman. Okay, that's right. And then we're doing Uncut. Ah, fuck.
Uncut Gems. It's on Netflix. I've heard that is more of a serious Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, that's what we said about fucking Punch Drunk Love, Zach, and look what happened.
But yeah, I've been meaning to watch this one for a minute, so this one gives me a good excuse to watch it sooner than later.
I guess we're doing Uncut Gems in the next one.
Yep.
All right.
Plus, we don't have to hunt it. We don't have to fucking hunt down the DVD or pay money to rent it.
Yeah, unless Netflix goes under in the next few days.
Netflix has been shut down due to coronavirus.
Well, I guess on that note, we're going to end this one here with me being pissed at Punch Drunk Love and now having to watch Uncut fucking Gems.
I hate the name, by the way. I hate
Billy Madison. Like,
I've seen Billy Madison. I hate the name of Punch Drunk Love because I didn't know anything about it. I assumed it was a rom-com, and I was fine with that. And that was not a rom-com.
That's what it is.
It was a dumb-com.
It's a dumb-com. That's what it is. Nah, fuck that movie. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Zach, do your thing.
Bye.